What is the funny shit that you saw at school? Back in high school I saw this kid just totally eat it down a staircase of at least 10 steps. Then he got up immediately and ran off screaming, "I'm okay. I'm okay." He ran off to cry in the bathroom. And to slip off his now ST-filled underwear and deposit them into the trash. In middle school I saw a girl run into a pole cause she wasn't looking. She screamed, then kicked the pole and screamed again. 10 out of 10. I had something similar happen while playing basketball in my driveway. The ball bounced off the rim and hit me in the face, knocking off my glasses. In frustration I immediately kicked the ball, which then bounced off the pole and hit me square at the gut. It was like some slapstick cartoon shit. But it was as funny as it was infuriating. Our gym teacher telling us how to dribble and shoot, and she missed every shot she took and double dribbled every time. Someone should have juked her and dunked on her. There was this guy. His name was, no joke, Harold Balls. And yes, he went by Harry. He was on the swim team and some kid from the other school was reading out the lineup on a PA at a swim meet when he got to Harry Balls and clearly thought it was a joke, and he burst out laughing when he said it. Harry just walked off and quit the swim team. Poor kid. Never had a chance in hell. When I was in 3rd grade, the principal said that we are gonna host a crown party because of a recent event. So in the next 2 days we were all dressed royal and stuff, but then you see the class next to me, they misheard crown for clown, and let me tell you, these kids look so funny. I kinda felt bad because they might have been embarrassed. But hey, what else can I do? Every court needs a jester. A couple guys I went to high school with came in one day wearing Spider-Man and Venom costumes under their clothes. During lunch they shed their regular clothes and fought. Who won? Nobody. Everyone lost that day. Except the principal for starting a betting pool on who would win and then kept all the money for himself. A kid in my class tried throwing a glue stick up in the air and swiping at it to catch it, but instead launched it and it hit the teacher. Oh no. A kid got stuck in the toilet and we had to get the teachers to pull him out. There's the story. He was a small kid. And I'm pretty sure he was playing tag with his friends during lunch break. I was in the bathroom, doing my business, and he came running in with his friends behind him. He ran into the toilet, and as his friends came to tag him he fell into the toilet. He got stuck. His friends needed the teachers to help him get out. I was laughing so hard. Derek was one of the second tier of popular kids. I didn't know him well, but everyone called him Dogger. Anyway, Dogger was stuffing around in year 7, age 12, on a basketball court. Stands at the free throw line, throws a basketball into the air, and kicks it really f***ing hard toward the other end of the court. Everyone goes silent and just watches as this magnificent kick sails through the air and then, swish. Full court shot. From the wrong free throw line and kicked. Goes in. We must have f***ed up 50 or more basketballs trying to repeat the feat. In a game that became known as Doggerball. Basketballs don't like that level of abuse. They developed huge bumps. Dogger himself grew up to be the 3rd best player on the school soccer team, behind 2 people who started playing professionally. No idea what happened to him after that. Guess he just died. Once, in 5th grade, we had a lockdown drill. And this kid hopped up onto the lockers. Above the lockers, there were windows that looked into the classroom. He looked through, and in a really strange voice, yelled, "I see you." This is an underrated response. I genuinely laughed out loud. Some kid shushed himself whilst wrestling in PE. He denied it ever happened even though everyone saw. About a week later some other lad climbed onto the roof of a house neighboring my school trying to get our ball back and found his stained clothes on top of the roof. Instead of leaving them there, the lad kicked them off the roof into the neighbor's drive. The neighbor came to the school and complained after finding covered garments with my school's logo on. We had a whole school assembly about the issue. The kid didn't come forward and admit it was him. The teachers ended up looking at CCTV to find out who the culprit was. Kid who shat himself was most likely seen running naked outside and throwing his covered clothes onto a roof. Lad who climbed onto the roof was caught kicking them into the drive and climbing on the roof. The climber was suspended for a few days. The kid who shat himself was never seen again. I think he may have left due to embarrassment. Poor guy, hope he's doing well, but F me, it was hilarious. Okay, but why was his second reaction to strip naked and throw his clothes on the roof? In high school, some students had made a meme account that was just about the school, making fun of teachers, etc. So one day it was gonna snow real hard and the school didn't want to let us go home before it was gonna snow, so one of the students announced on the meme page we were gonna protest that, and like 200 people ended up throwing mosh pits in the small hallway next to the principal's office. And it worked. Best day of my life. Mosh pit? A teacher, around 35, walked into a class dressed up as Marge Simpson for Halloween. We were playing soccer in gym class and a classmate of me kicked the ball really hard and the ball hit our gym teacher right in the F-king face while he was sitting on a bench reading and his glasses flew off his face. He was F-king angry. But it was an accident. So my classmate didn't get in trouble, even though most of us think he did it on purpose. Oh, it's gotta be the one time this girl in my class, a real know-it-all smart ass. But everyone loved her. She was guaranteed to get a teacher off topic, dared our teacher to throw a binder clip at her. It directly related to the lesson as we were learning about how our actions had no consequences. The class was existentialism and the teacher was a Dead Poets Society ripoff. She continued to egg him on for the entire class before he finally agrees. She stands up straight in the center of the class. And we're all seated in a U shape around her. My teacher winds up and absolutely hurls the binder clip at her, missing by a bare inch and slamming the quietest, sweetest girl in class directly in the face. Everyone stops, shocked for a second before the quiet girl loudly proclaims, "Your aim F-king sucks." You could tell it definitely hurt her, but we all busted out laughing. She was a great sport about it and I don't think I had even heard her speak, let alone yell a swear. To this day it's one of my favorite stories. Of course our teacher profusely apologized and we would casually bring it up as an inside joke between anyone in the class. Interestingly enough, it kind of all brought us together as it was the first week of our senior year. That class became one of my absolute favorites. Not funny for me but funny for classmates. I ate something during lunch in grade 2. And it caused me to feel the urge to S. At the time I was terrified of S-ting in any restroom other than at home for various reasons. So I willed myself to hold it in. 2 classes later, I was feeling really uncomfortable and could not focus on the lesson. As luck would have it, the teacher called upon me to write the answer to a question on the board. I tried refusing, but the teacher wouldn't have it. And she grabbed my wrist and yanked me out of my chair. An explosive diarrhea situation occurred. And since I was wearing shorts, the S ran down my legs and onto the floor. I had to transfer to a new school the next year to escape bullying. Bro, imagine you're the teacher. You have to go home to your husband and explained how you grabbed a kid so hard they had explosive diarrhea. In 9th grade when I was in biology class, one of my table mates got out one of those soda pellet candies and crushed it with his ID card into dust. Then he snorted it and after a few seconds, he started sneezing a lot. I looked at my teacher and she looked disgusted before telling my table mate off and going back into the lesson. It was hilarious. Kid did this at my school with blue fun dip and got an epic purple nosebleed in a detention. 2 guys got into a fist fight in the cafeteria. But they're pretty scrawny and terrible fighters, so it was comical for the people watching. Instead of throwing fists, they're slapping each other and had each other in a headlock. People were throwing dollar bills at them. One of the spectators grabbed a couple scrunchies and started putting them in the fighter's hair. There was another fight. This one was between 2 girls. One girl pinned the other girls and started pulling out her weave and tossing them around. People were picking the hair extensions. Throughout the day you can see people wearing them. Once in drama club we were rehearsing for the spring musical, Thoroughly Modern Millie, and the set crew left the backstage door open so they could get in and out quick and easy. And a wasp got in while the girls playing Millie, Ms. Mears, and Dorothy were going through a scene. The scene broke as soon as they saw the wasp. One of them ran off the stage. One girl fell over and just laid there. All of them were screaming. Eventually the student director came over with hairspray to kill the wasp. In the middle of our first night performing I was a teenage zombie. Several of the actors were spraying their hands with hairspray and lighting them on fire. They did this right under the fire alarm. I promise they were usually smart guys. But fire makes everyone dumb. Because fire. Way back in the day. In middle school during our computer science class one of the guys figured out the copy-paste shortcuts. He was just copy-pasting words into some Word program. It's been a while, I can't remember if it was Notepad or Word itself, as many times as he could. As class was winding down, he had the great idea to save his several tens of thousands of Word document to pick up after the next class. He hit save to the network drive. And while it took an eternity to save, it eventually did. Not 10 minutes into lunch and some teachers came in looking extremely, well, irritated. Apparently the Word document was so enormous that it basically filled the network drive, IDK if they had partitions or whatever, but they said it filled the drive. Also apparently due to this huge file, I think it was like 5 gigs or something, which was colossal at the time. Sorry if I'm off, I don't remember the exact size. Nobody could save anything to that drive. Also apparently every time someone tried to delete said file, their computers would crash and fail to delete the document. Ended up they had to buy a new drive for the school, which at the time was ridiculously expensive. He got in school suspension for a few days. So maybe somewhere in a dusty corner of the basement of that place, or in some landfill or something, is a drive which is nearly inoperable because it's literally filled with words.